Hi, everyone. Good morning, paper crafters, get organized, summit peeps, my peeps. I hope everybody is enjoying the summit. We are now on day 2. All the presentations for all the freebies went live at 9 a.m. You can always go to the schedule page if there's ever any confusion or for some reason you can't click the links that I put in the emails. We're getting some of that. Sometimes people forward me an email they received and it's like all hieroglyphics. Like I don't understand any of it, but you can always go to the schedule page. That's updated each morning at 9. And if you're ultimate organizational bundle holders, then you have had access to this for a while. So I hope everybody's been enjoying it today. I just finished watching Carolyn's live, the gel printing queen. I just love her, and she was so fun to watch. But now I'm here to take any questions that you may have if you've had a chance to watch my video or anything about rising it up. I am always wanting to sing. I can't sing that Rihanna song, Rise Up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everyone, let the questions roll in. I hope everything's going well. For my particular class, presentation, whatever we're calling them, it was all about how to get more room from height, how to rise things up. So that's pretty much what I do. I have risers, monitor risers. I'm sitting here looking around my rooms, but then I decided to go completely off-road, which is what I typically do on everything I do. And then I showed you my whole entire craft room and showed you all the fun things and tricks that I use around. Let's see. Is that an IKEA dresser behind you? Oh, this is funny. This actually came with the house. They left this dresser for me, and I always knew this was going to be my craft room. So this is something I didn't have in any prior house. But anyway, what is in here is complete and utter junk. I have all of my watercolor papers, and let's see. I got some chalk pastels. I've got journals. I've got Q-tips for when I gel print. I've got a bag of goldfish and snacks. Where did you get the 2 monitorizers on the middle table? Oh, on my video. You're referring to the video? That is from the monitorizer is, I think, if you're referring to the table that goes up and down, then that is from FlexiSpot. The rising desk is from FlexiSpot, and all the little doodads on the desk, that is all from FlexiSpot. My craft room is actually the size of a bedroom. I don't know the actual size, but I know you could easily fit. It's a big room. You could easily fit a king bed in here. You know, not as a craft room, but yeah, I don't know. It's a decent size room. But I started my craft journey on a dining room table, and everything craft related was in a storage bin. So not exactly pertaining to risers, but I'm curious about the drawers in your cube unit. Oh, we must be talking about my bookcase because I don't have any other drawers. What are we talking about? Chris, my cube unit. If you're talking about my bookcase, that might be what you're talking about with all the cubbies and then I had all the baskets in. That is actually from IKEA. And it's actually the bookcase. So it's a unit that has all the holes were open. And then you can buy drawers and cabinets as add-ons. And then you don't have to use the cubby thing. So yeah, that is all IKEA. So I decided to customize mine. And I have the one row of cubbies is all just drawers. And then the bottom row is just cabinets that you can open. All craft rooms do need snacks. They do. And, you know, this morning, I've already, halfway through a Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper. So there you go. I have Girl Scout cookies. And I have goldfish are my snacks of the day. And I ate a banana. Let's see. To the left of your large IKEA unit, you have a tower that is covered in colored squares. Ah, I do. Good eye. Those little cubed things are from Sarah Rainey, Ranea. I'll show you. I think you're talking about this. So this actually has a purpose. I am using them for decoration, but inside they have all these cool like palettes and stuff on it. And then when you flip the back, it gives you like color schemes. So it's a color cube by Sarah. Pretty sure it's Ranea. That's what this is. So if you ever need help with color or palettes or whatever, let me show you one. So here's one side, and it actually gives you the hex codes and stuff, and then a picture. And she offers two. One is warm colors and the other is cool colors, and that's what that is. How many cards do I make in a week? Well, actually, I don't make cards every week anymore, Elaine. Because when I do make cards, I usually make a lot at one time. So really, if I had to give you like a day of how many times I was in the craft room making cards a month, it would probably be 2 days. Because if I have all my stuff out, I'm going to make as many cards as I can. So how can you track weight of items in storage units to prevent bowing or overfilling? Is this even an issue for paper? For my paper, how I store it, if you looked in the video, that is also a new insert from IKEA. And you put it in the cubby, and then it has little shelves, and they're made out of that really sturdy particle board. So there is no warping. Probably the most heavy items I have in my craft room when you pile on paper on top of paper is paper. But then I also have paints that are in a big bucket. I don't really have any warping or bowing issues because almost all of my craft room is from IKEA. And then everything else that I use for storage is baskets and bins and things like that. So I don't really have a warping problem or a humidity problem. Yeah, all my paper is still pretty, I just stack it. If you watch in my video, they're just slid right on top of each other and they're all contained. I don't really have any humidity. If you had humidity, if I had humidity, I would probably store any warpable items like paper and stuff in a bin with a lid to prevent any of that from. What are those inks and the lovely ink pad storage behind you? Right here, these are all Catherine Pooler inks. The only inks that I really have are Catherine Pooler. I have a white pigment ink from scrapbook.com. I have a black ink from VersaFine. And I have embossing ink. That is all in this tower. And then I have distress oxides that I only pull out every once in a blue moon. And they're in a bin that I got from the dollar store. And they're in the closet. So I just pull those out when I need them. But pretty much every ink I use, it's right here. And these are bins from Organize More, or storage units from Organize More. Are the colors from a particular company's inks? Yes, they're all Catherine Pooler. So how I have them is Party is in one. Party's at the top because hers have two collections. Party, which are bright and vivid colors. And then you have Spa, which are more muted colors. In my last house, I stored them all. I mixed them all up. When I'm stamping and inking, I mix them all up. So they work all well with each other, in my opinion. That's it. Sarah Renee Clark Color Cube. That's it. Yay. That's what this was. Sarah Renee Clark Color Cube. And yeah, those are all Catherine Pooler inks. Someone did say you can have a dehumidifier for warping. What other crafts do I love? Well, so I started out card making, and actually not long ago, really, like I was in New York, I started to get into watercoloring, and then when I dive in, I dive all in and I get everything that I need. So I had all these paints from all these different companies. And then what happens is I always wean myself down to just one company that I love. That's how it started with inks. I had all these different inks, and then it's like, I like these inks. I don't need to have them all. I don't need to store them all. So that's what happened with me. So I have watercoloring I love to do. I do like textured art. You probably can't see any in my room. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you one. Oh, get them right off the wall. So card making, of course, is my first love. Then I did watercoloring, which these are all my watercolors behind me, except that wolf. That wolf someone made for me. I can't figure out how to point. Anyway, you can see the wolf. This is what I mean by textured art. So I do this now, which is also a whole bunch of storage, right? I had to figure that out. Then I do water flow art, which is like this. So I have a lot of different loves. So I had to figure out a way to organize myself, or I would, my stuff would be vomiting out of this room. The difference between regular ink and distress ink. Distress ink for me, I'm not a chemist, but distress inks for me are for techniques. Now I use distress oxide inks. I don't have distress inks anymore because I found that distress oxides, you were able to do a little more technique with them than you were with the regular inks. So, but they're different formulations. But with oxides, you can do a lot of fun techniques that's like reacting with water and layering. But what you can't do is stamp with them because you can with oxides. But with the regular inks, you don't get a good even impression because they're made to work with other different things. So the difference between the Catherine Puller inks and my oxide inks are the formulation. These are beautiful. They're juicy. They're foam pads, which a lot of the other inks are not foam pads. They're felt pads. And the oxides, I really only pull out if I'm doing techniques, lots of water, mixing things up. And the oxides also give you that chalky look. So it gives you a different finish. My laptop is actually, I'm looking at it like y'all can't see it, but on my video, I have my monitor, which is, you're up here, my little webcam, and I have my monitor sitting right here on the riser, and my laptop is right underneath that monitor. It's because I use a monitor because my eyes are old. So I have to route everything to the big screen. So it's all right under there. And then I still have probably about this much room. So if I'm working on watercolor pieces or cards and stuff, and they're like pending or work in progresses, I just slide them right on top of my laptop, and that's where they sit. I've thrown the silica packets out of prescriptions when done into my paper bins for humidity. We all get those little packets that we don't like at the beginning because they're like in the way. My favorite watercolor brand, I can never, ever, ever pronounce it. I switched because I found that I kept drinking my paint water, or my cat would jump on my desk and drink my paint water. So I needed to get paint that was not toxic. So I actually switched to, oh boy, Mary Blue. Mary Blue. Hold on. MAIMERI Blue, because they are all non-toxic. So that is what I use primarily now. So I don't kill myself when I'm drinking my paint water on accident. How do I purge? Y'all aren't going to like me when I say how I purge. First of all, you have to be in the mood. You have to be in the zone to get rid of things. I find my husband, his place is the garage. He's a hoarder in the garage. So he's never in the mood to purge, and we have stuff in there that we haven't used and that probably don't even work. So I just find one day that I'm in the mood, and really I just look through it. And if I haven't used it, I throw it behind me. Like I'll go through all my stamps, whatever I don't use, I'll throw it behind me. Inks, dyes, stamps, whatever. I already said that. Pattern paper, I don't have a lot of anymore. And then that pile, that's my purge pile. I don't second guess it. I don't go back in there and pull it out. It is done. You have to go with your gut. Just go with your gut. My re-inkers are stored in a little basket that sits inside of my, I have 2 IKEA Alex drawer units. They're on those casters. And they're just in one of those drawers, but in a basket. And I labeled, I'll show you. I labeled all of the top of them. Let me just get you a basket. They're in here. Remember in my video, I love working in baskets and coffee mugs and things like that. So I just dab the ink color. If I turn it too much, then they're all going to fall out. So I know how I can just reach in and grab them. So I'm a big fan of baskets, bins, recycled coffee mugs. Like, look around your house and find stuff. You do not have to go to some organized company and spend a bazillion dollars on your stuff. All right. What do I do with my purged items? I just give it away. I find somebody that wants it and I give it to them. That's it. Sometimes I go to the Goodwill. Sometimes I'll go take it to a school. If they don't want it, then I donate it to like the Goodwill or something. Have you ever purged an item and a week later you really needed that item? I can say there's probably one thing I wish I didn't purge and I actually went out and bought it, but that's it. That happened to be a specific sentiments set. But other than that, I have never had any regrets. I try to not think about it ever again. Like, it needs to go. It's going to someone else who's going to use it. You got to put yourself in the mindset like, I'm doing a favor. I'm doing anybody else a favor. Myself, getting rid of things that I don't use, because it's overwhelming. If you have a room that has so much stuff in it and you don't use it, it's overwhelming. You don't even know where to go. So all of my stamps are now in that one bin, that one fridge bins that I have in my IKEA unit, my cubby unit. That's every stamp and every die I own. It all fits in there. Kathleen. My next purge. Yeah, I stopped. I used to ship it and do like mystery boxes and stuff, but that just became a big pain. I should probably create like a download, and anybody that wants to be on my purge list could be on it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will. And I'll send that out in a newsletter. What are my preferred papers? Well, honestly, for white cardstock, I have white and black. Those are my main colors, white and black. My white cardstock was Nina Solar White for the longest time, but now I switched to whatever Ardith uses, and I'm going to ask her to type it in the chat because I don't remember. But I went on Amazon and found it. It's like smooth. It's like soft and pretty. So I use that now, but forever it was Nina Solar White. And I still have all the colored cardstock from when I first started crafting like 17 years ago. And it's probably like a Stampin' Up! Colors. They're still sitting there. Honestly, I use them as decoration because I rarely ever use colored cardstock. And if I do, it's usually just for a base of a card, usually a holiday card or something like that. So my colored cardstock is going to last a long darn time. But I also just customize my colored cardstock with the inks and white cardstock. And then I'm making sure that everything matches. The Nina was 110 pound. I found that the 80 pound was a little too fringy for me. Where do I get my fridge bins? They are on my supply list. Everything that I talked about in my video, if it's like something you can buy, I mean, you can't go, coffee mug, you need to go down to your kitchen. It's on my supply list. And now I forgot the question. I think it was the fridge bins. It's linked in my supply list, but I got mine off of Amazon. When I used color cardstock, I loved Stampin' Up! It was nice, it was thick, and the colors were pretty. Besides your own freebie, which ones did you download from the presenters so far to keep you organized? Well, Artist Freebie is excellent. Tanya has some color swatching that I really liked. The stencil organization. Those are like 3 things that I really was drawn to. But other than that, I pretty much felt like I had a good handle on my storage. I figured out what works for me. Height, elevate yourself up, and then you have more room to scooch stuff underneath. Coffee mugs. This is a planter. This was a planter. There's like a hole in the bottom. I plugged it. Oh, look, a pencil's sticking out. I didn't plug it after all. But anyway, this was an actual planter, probably from Goodwill. So yeah. What are the top 3 tools that you couldn't live without? Ooh, my paper trimmer, my scissors, tools. So that doesn't count inks and stamps, right? And probably my, I moved it. Probably my foam dimension. I'm sure that's, if you ask me tomorrow, it'll be all different answers. But how I store my stamps, I store them. I'll show you. They're all in here. Every one of them are all in this fridge bins. And watch my video, and I think I give you a close-up. They're all in this one thing. And it works great for me. I'll just put it on the floor. My paper trimmer, I have a guillotine when I'm doing like serious, well, not serious, but it's a Fiskars, but this is the one I mostly use. It has an arm that reaches out, and then there's a wire guide, hold on, like right here. So you can see exactly where you're cutting. So this is like a Fiskars wire guide trimmer. Any other household items you use for craft storage? All kinds. I mean, I've got lots of planners, bowls, like this thing. Like, I don't even know what this was. This held tea. This was tea bags. Oh yeah, just look around. Look around. Sometimes if you buy tea bags or anything, they come in really cool tins. Keep your tins. Keep them. Keep your, oh, candle holders is another one. I don't see one right now, but once my candle burned down, I use that to hold markers and stuff. Looking around. Mason jars. I actually kept the box from my last Apple product purchase because those are really good boxes, and I store stencils in there. So it's just super easy. I don't have paper scraps. I don't. How do I store my scrap papers? I don't. I did for the longest time, and I did absolutely nothing with them. So I just threw them away. I don't want anybody to get mad at me, but I don't do it. Sorry. Yeah, I find that purging can be challenging for some people. I have a video up on my channel. It's like a TED Talk. It's like, I don't remember what I called it, but I really like stared at the camera, and I had like a therapy session on getting rid of your stuff or using what you already have. That might be what it is. Use what you have, something like that. Watch it. I use the Fiskars trimmer as well, and you can use that Valley as a score line. That is absolutely true. So if you have your little bone folder, you can use that. I don't have a scoring tool anymore. I got rid of that. I don't need all these gadgets. All the gadgets, the envelope makers and all that stuff that I had at the beginning, I didn't need it. Yeah, I totally throw my scraps away. I'm, you know, I just do. I don't have a single punch. The crafty in me, I don't have one. But there is a presentation. Hers went live yesterday. Oh, it's today. It's today. You can watch it today from Lauren Hines, and she talks about how she stores her punches. How do I decide what stamps to keep? Really, it's just like a gut feeling. I look at it, and because sometimes you get something and you liked it then, but now your tastes have changed or evolved, or you're not into, like, maybe you're used to like critters and now you don't like critters. So if I happen to be a non-critter person and I had a critter stamp and I'm like, I'm going to purge it because I know I won't use it because that's not my style anymore. I also found that I don't need 50 stamp sets that are all about thank yous, right? I could use one or two, maybe, if I want different fonts. So if I have like duplicates or things that are very similar, I don't need them all. I mean, I used to have that fridge bins that I showed you. I had stamps and dies that were four of those, and now I'm down to one, and I feel just fine. I feel just fine about it. A lot of people are upset because they're like, I spent my money on that. And I get it. I totally get it. But you're not using it. So you don't need to keep it. That's my thoughts. Yes. I mean, I really feel like, you know, if you're not going to use it, get rid of it. Whatever outlet you choose to get rid of it is a personal choice, and nobody should make you feel bad for it. But I do believe if it's just sitting there and it's not something you've used in a year or two, then it's time to go. It's time to go. And when you find yourself, and even if you have, you know, all this extra space in your room now, so what? That's great. Don't fill it up with more junk. Embrace it is what I'm saying. Do you store your stamps and dies by company? No, I store them by category. So I have like sentiments, backgrounds, foliage, holidays, miscellaneous. And that might be it. I keep it very, very generic. Oh, my magic mug. It's not a mug right now. I actually let me show you. I keep saying, let me show you, let me show you, let me show you. So this is the little box, and all my magic mug is now sorted into this. I started out with a magic mug, and what that is just basically I had all my pre-cut dies and sentiments and images, and I put them in that mag, and I put them in that mug. And then when I sat down to create, I dumped the mug on my desk, and I could only use what was in there. A couple reasons why I did that. One, it makes making your card really quick because you can only use what was in your mug. Two, I've already die cut and pre-cut and colored and all these images. I want to use them. So now this would have been 3 mugs, but instead I have this box here. So I have all my images in one, my sentiments in another, and like shapes in this final one. So when I make stuff, it's coming out of here. So you start off small, just a mug. I don't even know where the mug is I used to use. It was a pretty big mug. You can even make it yourself a big mug. This is cute, is it not? I found this at Goodwill. So you can put all your stuff in some form of vessel, and that is your magic mug. All right? And it's magic. It alleviates the pressure that you put on yourself on what to use, and it's also making you use up the stuff that you already took the time to create. I have a ton of retired products to sell. Is there a place I can put a link for the attendees here? Ooh. You know what? Throw it up in the Facebook group. Throw it up in the Facebook group. I don't want that Facebook group to be, now I need to think about this. I don't want that a place to be where you sell things, because this whole summit is obviously you're here either on a free ticket or a paid ticket, but that's really all we wanted you to have to spend money on. So I need to think about that a little more, because I don't have anything set up for that kind of thing right now. How do you prevent damaging the images in that box? Well, I'm just real careful when I put them in there, but I mean, look how many there are. These are all, I mean, I have so many, and the holes in the compartments in this is quite big. So I've never really damaged anything yet. If I step on it, I guess so. I don't have stickers. I don't, so I can't help you on storing stickers. I'm sorry. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to not feel bad if you purge. I want you to not feel bad if you throw your scraps away. I want you to not feel bad if you walk around your house and pick up stuff and use it as vessels for your craft room on how to store things, or how to elevate so you have more height, or how you make more room, or just, I want you to use what you have without running to the store and buying something, because your house probably has it in there. What shipping solution do you use when destashing? Well, I destash locally for the most part. When I was destashing, it would always be in a priority mailbox for USPS, but that just got too much for me. And honestly, guys, I don't think you're going to make a lot of money selling your used products. I'll just put that out there. You know, I don't even sell it anymore. I just give it away, but that's just my cup of tea. You could try to do it on Facebook Marketplace if you're a Facebook member, or if you've got any local groups, but I just donate mine. I don't worry about trying to get money. Someone said use Nextdoor. Those are all good resources. Now that I've thought about it, don't use the Facebook group, the PCGO Facebook group, for selling, because that's not what the summit's about. So whoever asked that, I already forgot. Don't do that. But Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, but I don't expect a lot of money, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, you want to get something back because you paid for it, but in all honesty, you're not using it. Just think of it as it's going to someone who will. This live will always be available as a replay. So you can always check that. But my YouTube, I cannot remember the name of the video, but I'm pretty sure it's like use what you got or something. It is a heart to heart. I mean, I am up in your face having a heart to heart, because I don't like it when people feel bad about doing these kinds of things. So that's it. If I didn't grab your question, or if you've got more, you can tag me in the Facebook group and I'll see them over there. You can tag me on social media. Hopefully I answered all your questions. The supply list to everything that I linked to, which is not that much because I tried to use what I already had, is going to be available to you. But seriously, look around your house, find what you got, see what you can use, make the most of your space, enjoy the summit. I hope it's bringing you lots of ideas and inspiration. And I'm so glad that you guys are all here.